What's up, everybody? Rob Nakamura, and I'm here with the High Chief, Zac Pauga. Together, we're fully hydrated, and we're going to get into our favorite thing we like to do, the pump and dump, where we look to the most recent UFC event, give some love, give some criticism. Folks, drop some comments. Let us know who got your love, who got your criticism. And we don't tell each other beforehand, so we find out just like you find out. And here we go. My man gets to pick what we're doing, bumping or dumping.
So I'm starting with the dump. I'm doing my dump, and I've gone back and forth about if I wanted to do this as my dump because I didn't need to. I'm talking about early prelims. We're going way early in the night in early prelims, and this is purely a personal, petty thing. And I've met her a handful of times, and she's a great lady. She's a wonderful person. But Angela Hill, like, what are we doing? Her opponent was a good fighter, a hot up-and-comer. I'm just curious, like, career-wise, what are you doing? For me, this is what I'm saying. I'm trying to be authentic here, but for me personally, I'm 12-6. My record is 12-6. When you add in all the other combat sport things I'm doing, it's 12-6 in fighting, and I'm like embarrassed of that. I'm not proud of that record, and I'm like, damn, that's a really bad record. She's 18-17. How can we be in the UFC? How can you be in the UFC and be almost 500 and have 17 losses? Like, what? It hurts me because she's such a nice lady. But truly, honestly, what is the career path here? 17 losses? I don't know. I don't know what to say.
My man, first thing I'm going to say is stop that. And, dude, your record's solid. And especially when you go into different things. So, much love. Cut it out. Also, dude, to the other part, yeah, her record is borderline starting to, like, back in the day, like way back in the day, a pro fighter's, MMA fighter's record, if you were like 500, that means you're not bad. Like, that was the old school not bad watermark. 2-1 where you're at is also very not bad. But in her case, dude, thank you. I want to say, you know what, dude, first off, thank you for nitpicking and taking that position, which is normally mine. Normally I kick the person on the ground. But in her case, I feel like the organization is kind of going and I'm going to say this name with so much love and respect because he is a cool dude, and it almost hurts me to say this, but the Clay Guida route, well, dude, you're here, and
you'll take the fight.
You take the weight. Like, there's no path. Here's your answer, Zach. There is no path. There is no trajectory. There is no target. There is no goal. There is a spot on the card, and we like you enough we remember enough of what you did. Which is, they have very selective memory, by the way. Sometimes they'll remember you for what you've done, and other times they don't give a shit. But for certain characters, certain individuals, they're like, just make sure they have a spot somewhere to fight, and that's all that is, in my opinion. And here's the bummer part. Normally, when you have, with the guys, you have like that kind of scenario going on, I'm the first guy to go, stop putting them against the young lions. Stop murdering them. Put them against other veterans that, like, make a cool veteran fight. The shitty part is the women's divisions don't have the depth of roster. Like, I couldn't... The first thing after that fight when she got smoked, and I was like, oh, well, maybe same logic gear started going, and I go, wait. Shut up, Rob. There's nobody for her to pair up. Like, who the hell are you going to put her?
Yeah. Who does she fight now? Yeah, who does she fight now?
I throw that back at you. Who does she fight now?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah, dude, rough. That's rough. Good dump. That's a good dump because I'm actually, you got me, dude. I'm pretty speechless on that one, and I just hope that all I can say is because Angie is cool, that, like, she's doing it because she still just wants to. And maybe she can get paired up in a better way, but there was nothing competitive about that. All the douchebaggy, shitty things fans say, or like, oh, you're old, you're washed, like this and that, like all those kinds of... Son of a bitch, that's what that performance showed, right? Like, all right, well, on my end, I'm going also with some low-hanging fruit. If you guys watched last week, maybe watched the week before, I'm going against Leon Edwards. He's completely washed. He's washed. He's past tense. He is no longer in the upper echelons of the weight division, and he showed extremely low fight IQ. I literally felt Nate Diaz was sitting at home pointing at the screen and laughing at him like from years ago, because what were you doing, bro? Like, you came out and immediately showed the skill set Zach talked about, others have talked about, but the skill set you have developed later in your career, by the way, kudos to you for doing it, and immediately applied it. And I was like, son of a bitch, like, I'm going to have to eat this. He came out and he wrestled. Like, he looked good. Like, he went the Aljo method, took the back, just rode it the whole time. I was like, damn, it looks like shit that Prates can do about this. Might be a boring fight, but I think Leon's on his way home. No, to get caught up. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just a regular dude. Maybe you catch me talking shit. Yeah, I talk shit back. I'm not in competition though. Like, even when I was not in fighting, but in racing, you could talk all the shit you want. You're not getting me off of my fucking position. To move any professional's game plan through pure shit talk is just low fight IQ, man. That is weird. That is bad. And he suffered for it. And good job for Carlos Prates for going with like the taunt emoji attack. And somehow it worked. Like, normally it doesn't. Normally it just makes you look like a douchebag. But good for you. Yeah, Leon, I don't know what's next for you. I'm going to borrow your line from just a few minutes ago, sir. What's next? Like, what's the point of that? Like, what's the point of that career? You've made your money, done your thing. I don't see you going back up the hill. I don't know. That's my dump.
Yeah, and that's a great one too. It's 3 losses in a row, right? Finished his last 2 fights, and it's the hard part is it was low fight IQ, like you said. You went out there round 1 and did it. Okay, just do that again, right? We know how to beat them. We know how to beat this guy. And for some reason, I made the same exact mistake that he's made. I'm not fighting the number 4 or 5 guy in the world, right? I fight good guys, but he's fighting the best in the world. And I made the same mistake. Okay, I got this guy now. I'm going to do what I want. I'm not going to do what I know works. I'm going to do what I want to do and stand here and bang. I loved it at first. Because in the pre-fight interviews, he said he wasn't going to wrestle. He was like, no, I'm not going to wrestle. And then when he came out and wrestled immediately, I was like, oh, he got him. That was high fight IQ. That was super high fight IQ. And then, like you said, stuff happens. Did you get weird? You get weird thoughts in mid-round where you just go, oh, I'm going to stand now. I wrestled him one entire round. Now I'm going to knock him out. And that's where best in the world, champion level fighters, right? That kind of stuff. And for what's next for him, I'll tell you what's next. Now, they're going to feed him to the young guns. They're going to see how low he can go and keep winning, right? He's going to fight number 5 or number 6 now, whoever's the next young gun, to try and make their name off of him. They're going to try and say, oh, remember this champ? Well, he's going to fight the new guy that we want you to cheer for. So, it's a rough go for him. It's a rough go. It's a good dump.
That's a fair. And thank you for sharing your personal experience with that. And it's rough to see, to be honest. And once again, that criticism, I just want to highlight what you just said. He's fighting the top upper echelon. It's not that he's a crap fighter or couldn't win fights, but he, for his own benefit, I think should be really selective on who he fights next. He shouldn't just take like the most dangerous next. Just get a dub.
If his goal is to get back into title contention, right, which is like we were just talking about with Angie, maybe that's not his goal. I think it probably still is, right? He just lost it 2 fights ago. Like, it probably still is his goal. But that doesn't have to be everyone's goal, especially when they have the resume that Leon has. And taking exactly that. Be intelligent about who you fight next. And dude, once we're finding out right now, somebody just posted it. I think Casual MMA posted it on Twitter about how maybe Neil Magny's not that bad because his last 3 losses are Ian, Gary, Pratis, and Morales. Right? It's like that. Yeah, 170 is no joke, dude. You're not just gonna jump in short notice in the top 5 of 170 and get an easy
Absolutely. Fight. And to his credit, sometimes that's what happens when you're the top tier gatekeeper. Like, people sometimes use that term in a negative sense, but like, no, dude, sometimes you separate the top 10 best people on the planet and you're just brother 11. You know, it just happens to be that way. So yeah. Also, shout out to supporter of the show, Oblique Kick Anto. He pointed out something that I've noticed, and I know acute sharp fans also notice. Zach, you probably noticed too from that speech of Leon Edwards. When a fighter specifically mentions a part of the fight game that they are not doing for no good reason and completely unprovoked, that's the exact shit they're doing. No, so anyways, good call on that. I'm gonna slightly bend the rules here and throw out an honorable mention pump and an honorable mention dump. Zach, take whichever one you want to comment on. Honorable mention pump because, dude did it. And who am I talking about? Ethan Ewing. It's been a minute since a Ewing killed it in MSG. Shout out to anybody who knows that reference.
everyone
yeah, it was good. That. It was good. The guy apparently fought like 8 days prior or something like that. Yeah. Did it, came up a weight class. I love Malcolm Wellmaker. I love the guy. But at the same time, showed Malcolm maybe some spots where he could develop. He's so young. Like, the guy's so young. So who cares? It's one of those, like, maybe if they let it be positive losses that will develop you and you'll become a much better fighter. And then his post-fight speech. Brother, last week we were just talking about the value of being good on the mic or taking your moment. He didn't miss. Mm-hmm. Like, the guy was, like, so made for that moment in every regard, including the mic time. I have to pump him. Now, my dump, the honorable dump, this one hurts to fucking say. But Neil Dariush, I love you, bro, but that was bad. I don't know if like making the weight here at this stage of your life and age or something is contributing to your downfall because it was you missed by a little bit and you were trying to get there. I know that. And then just it was just ugly. So I'm not even dogging you. It just sucks. And then it just, I also know for somewhat personal fact that his like main goal for fighting is to try to get a shot at the title, and this could have ended all, probably most likelihood ended all hopes and dreams for that. So I don't know. That one's a tough pill to swallow. And there you go. It's up there, run with whatever you wanted.
So I mean, that's great. We'll talk about both of them. And then we haven't done our true pumps yet, but we'll talk about both the honorable mentions here. Ewing, first of all, like, there's not much to say that you didn't hear. It's amazing. And every weekend, we talk about guys taking unnecessary risks, taking bad risks. He shouldn't have done this. He shouldn't have done that, right? We're pro fighters. Like, we're prize fighters, baby. You got to bet on yourself. Sooner or later, if you want to be something in this game, you have to bet on yourself. You have to say, this is a dumb thing to do, and I'm doing it anyway, and it's going to be successful. So it's like, I love to see it. I love to see it. And that's what fighting is. That's why it's the best sport in the world, right? You can call a guy on 2 days' notice to come in against a killer, and he wins. It wasn't like something lucky. He finessed him, outskilled him. It was nice. The Dariush. I'm so glad we got to talk about Dariush, because this is what I'll say. We do picks every show, right? We do picks every show. If it was my rent or my like livelihood, I would never bet on MMA. I would never. You do. For real, dude. Who knows what happened with Beneil Dariush? Got knocked out in 10 seconds. One of the best fighters in the world. But Beneil, when he's on, is amazing, dude. And just something that none of us know made it so he did not show up at all Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, that's it. And let's just extra highlight that. And maybe this is me getting on a soapbox, but just real quick, the guys out there pumping their picks and trying to sell their UFC picks, shut Shut the
Nobody
fuck
knows.
up, dude. Yeah, nobody knows, dude.
dude.
It's
Nobody
it's
knows.
literally flipping a coin into the ether, seeing what happens. All right, well, on to the positive stuff, the pumps. My man, what you got?
So my pump is hurting me almost as much as my dump did. I have to go with this low-hanging fruit. I'm going with Islam Makhachev. I'm not a fan of his. I don't necessarily like him that much. But with what he did on Saturday, he is the best fighter in the UFC right now. He is the number one pound for pound. I'm glad he didn't fight Max. I wanted him to fight Max at 155. I'm glad it didn't happen, dude. To go up in weight class and absolutely ragdoll JDM like that. After we saw JDM against Bilal, we said this in our picks last week. JDM can wrestle, no joke. You're not going to hold him down. Islam is. And I'm so impressed with his ability to just make it uncompetitive, right? Like, you can complain about the excitement all you want. This is MMA. That's the sport. If you want to complain about it, complain to Dana, right? Complain to Dana, complain to all them. Islam's like shooting half-court shots and banking them, right? And people say, no, we want to see dunks. We want to see dunks. And he's just walking to half-court and sky-hooking it in every single time. So he's my pump for sure. Like, I was so, because of how sure I was that he was going to lose, and then he not only won, he kicked the living shit out of JDM. I was like, this guy's the best. He's the best. And it just is what it is.
Dude, you're completely right. He is the man of the hour. He's the man in the sport. Undeniable skill set. What can you say? Dude's a killer. He makes good fighters look below average on a consistent basis. Truly. And that is so hard to do. It's one thing to look good. Like, a lot of people look good. But to make your opponents consistently look like crap is...
Yeah. Look like they didn't train for the fight. It's like, JDM knew that Islam was going to take him down. He practiced for 8 weeks to not get taken down and not get held down. And
nailed it, dude. I'm going to borrow a post, some words from Dominic Cruz. He said something that kind of struck me. He goes, all this effort from JDM to have his jiu-jitsu on point, it's like having a gun with no bullets when he didn't increase his wrestling. Now, I'm paraphrasing that, but I found it to like register and kind of make sense. Did he get out of his submissions more than any other people have in the past? Sure. And I guess you can only build up your skill set so much in one camp, so I guess you got to pick and choose. But yeah, I was like, you know what, that does ring a little bit of truth, but then at the same time, I'm not the one trying to deal with Islam Makhachev, you know?
Well, I've said this before, I could be wrong, but it's like, losing a submission and losing a decision, it doesn't change your record that much. Look at my record, unfortunately. Now, I don't lose a whole lot of decisions because I'm going to give myself a chance to win, right? I'm not going to lay here for 25 minutes and pray at the beginning of next round before you take me down again, I knock you out. No, I'm going to try to get up. I'm going to try and do something. And yes, that does open you up to getting finished by making those risky chances. But for me personally, I would take that risk as opposed to just, oh, well, he's not going to finish me. I'm going to lay here and he's not going to finish me.
That's a very solid point, my dude. And that's why your fights are fun to watch. I would have liked to see Islam show a little bit more finishing intent. Like, I know he did try and apply himself to a couple subs, but that was it. It was like, I'm going to smush you all over the floor for 25 minutes and maybe try to go for the sub, but I'm not really going to try to bash your face in, which is something you've talked about in the past, others have talked about. Like, the sub comes easier when you start wrecking some faces along the way. I would have been more happy to see that, but I just want to say, because it was going nice and smooth and boring, I got to pay attention to my second screen and watch some ultimate violence on BKFC because some crazy shit was going on over there. I'm happy for it.
So yeah, that's like the perfect highlight segue thing. If you don't want to watch, we've said this a million times, if you don't want to watch that, there's sports you can watch. There's things that exist. And that also does bring up one final piece of, like, I don't know if it's great coaching or if it was keeping him from where he could be, but there was a round where he wanted to strike. In between rounds, he was saying, I'm going to stand with him, and Khabib is just hammering him. Wrestle, you're going to wrestle, all this stuff. And it's like, he's champion of the world, a double champ. Khabib coached him to champ, but Khabib, maybe robbed him of that opportunity to go out there, wrestle JDM for 4 rounds, and then knock him out. I don't know.
Enough. I'm going to be an internet person one more time. Oh, dude, Islam, great for you, dude. Great for you being a 2-division champ.
Right.
Reiterate this for English purposes. It's not a double champ. A double champ means simultaneously holding 2 belts in 2 divisions, which I found it corny that he held on to his old belt and then put on his new one so he could have a McGregor picture moment, which made it awkward and cringe to me. No, sir. You are a prestigious 2-division champion, which there's nothing wrong with. That does not diminish the accomplishment in any sort of way. We all know that you're the lord of 2 weight classes. I just thought it was very cringy to purposely wear the 2 belts. That's all.
So everything that you just said is correct. Completely, absolutely factual and correct. When I win a belt, I'm doing whatever the hell I want. I don't care who thinks it's cringy. I don't care what anybody else says. I'll wear 2 belts. I'll wear 3 belts. I'll put on the next belt if I want to.
That's fair. That's completely fair. They earned it. That's their moment. All right, my pump. I'm going pretty easy. This is an easy one, but I just giving it for the totality of the performance. And what I mean that, I'm going pre-show to the mic work and Michael Morales. The guy did everything you want a young star to do. He went and made viral pictures dressing up as Spider-Man before the fight, getting everybody pre-fight into it. He killed my pick, and which I did not see coming. Yeah. Just really the way he went about it.
And so that's the biggest thing, right? He's not just leaning on his performance, which was amazing, right? He's doing all the other little things, and that's going to be the difference. That's what's going to make him able to be monetized outside of just fighting. He was the dude, we both picked against him. He was the one that I didn't really believe it, and you're worse, right? Came out in that Philly shell crossguard type thing, made it all kind of weird for Sean to shoot or whatever, and knocked his ass out, man. It was so impressive because he was the one that I had the most questions about.
And he showed up big time. Folks, check your local times. Early fights, West Coast time. I'll be up 7 a.m. eating breakfast and enjoying these scraps, so check your time wherever you may be. Thank you for going the distance with us. It's been a good time. We'll see you next time. But in the meantime, stay fully hydrated. All right.